Welcome back to CFB Nation. I am your host, Nino Brown, and you know the deal. This is Devy Darling. When you see me and my guy Boom on the screen, filling in for our guy D-Now. Shout out D-Now. Get back soon. Can't wait to see you back in the lineup. Boom. How we doing tonight? Was that a monster?
It is. It is a monster. You know, sometimes you need these late at night. So I ran out of my Celsius. So
yeah. We got the Spyro on there. Spyro, give a plug up.
Yeah,
Spyro.
Spyro boxing. They're gonna represent my hometown. So
the colors matching the scheme we got for the gentleman on the screen, and we're gonna be talking about Texas A&M running back Reuben Owens. Before we get to the whole Texas A&M part, let's go, a little bit back in the day here. We're going to go 6 foot, 200 pounds, right? And I did notice that he's 6 foot, 200 pounds now. He entered A&M at 5'11", 190. So in a year, he grew an inch and put on 10 pounds. I like to see that. From El Campo, Texas, former 5-star recruit in the 2023 class, 98 in the composite rankings, 2-sport athlete, played football and track. He ran a sub 1100 meter, and he was competitive in the long jump. Now, he was number 2 running back in his class, 31st overall. I want to compare him to the top 3 guys in his class, right? Number 1 was CJ Baxter, who had 138 attempts, close to 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. He did have 24 receptions for $156, and he averaged 4.8 yards per carry. And then it was Justice Hayes, 25 attempts, 168 yards, 2 touchdowns, 6.7 yards per carry. I didn't have any receptions. So just keep that in mind, because I think he's when I had higher expectations, I think, for him coming in, because he reminded me of a guy, and we'll get to that at the end of the show. And I just thought that the opportunity would be knocking a College Station for him, right? They would have plenty of opportunities for him. It just didn't work out this year. Everything over there was just kind of up in the air. But when I look back at it, I think his production wasn't really bad off the number 1 guy, and he definitely was better than number 3. So what are your thoughts about a guy, at 6 foot, 200 pounds that runs a sub 11, 100?
Well, I'm a huge fan of the fact that he's still growing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And running backs are up and down. Who am I getting this year? I do love your comp later, but again, he's grown. He's obviously still got some growing to do. He's a 5-star for a reason. I think it's really interesting because we bring up Haynes and Baxter. Baxter pretty similar overall,
right?
And it's just really just a matter of where you're at. And Jimbo is not a huge fan of playing the new guys. He's remember, it's kind of like Bob Stoops back in the day. My man did not play freshman. This dude, he played Adrian Peterson, but he sat DeMarco Murray for a year.
Right.
So
some guys just only do their thing and that's it, right?
It's sometimes, you can't teach old dog new tricks, and they want to see. Obviously, he knew he wasn't done growing yet. That dude in the weight room could be scary. So
puts on another 10. Whew.
I'm telling you right now, there's some other really, really solid A&M running backs back in the day, and I am telling you, it's watch out here. We're gonna get into it, but watch out.
He was like, I love Baxter because he was like overall good at everything, right? But I just had he just style of play that he has. I was a big fan of it, and we'll break him down a little bit. But he just screams to me my comp. All right, El Campo High School is where he attended. Sophomore year, 2020 to 2021, had 140 attempts, 1,500 yards, 22 touchdowns. He had 9 100-plus yard games, and he averaged 137.3 yards per game. Boom, that's a sophomore. Those are big numbers.
Bro, those are Derrick Henry numbers in high school. Just so we're clear. Derrick Henry's
Those are Derrick Henry numbers, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so his next year in 2021 and 2022, he was a junior. He had 248 attempts for 2,989 yards and 46 touchdowns. Yes, 46, all of them on the ground. He had 12 100-plus yard games, and he averaged 229 yards per game. Boom. What?
Yeah, those are dumb numbers. Those are career numbers, in a season. You know what I mean? Which is crazy to me because his lanky and his stride and the build that you have out of him. I mean, he's rock solid. You kind of wonder exactly what overall happened because that dude's athletic.
Yeah.
There's a picture him playing. I think it's SMU where he's hurling the dude.
Ease.
It is dumb.
Like with ease. Like he didn't jump right in front of him. He was like a couple yards back when he started the hurdle and just like, boop, got him.
The guy has, with South Carolina, so it was. And it's, I'm just telling you, I think he just got this build to him, and when the swagger hits,
yeah,
he's gonna have that. He's gonna have that same season. I mean, he gonna have no 40 touchdowns. Let's not put this out there.
No,
but it's watch out.
I think once he gets the confidence under his belt and feels good in this offense, and hopefully Wegman stays, I believe that this kid is going to I think he can handle 17 to 20 totes per game, right? 3 down back with no problem. Yeah.
Especially. I mean, don't get me wrong. It is, it's the SEC, and it just keeps getting better.
Right.
And defenses are getting a little stronger. But I'm telling you, I think he needs to go back to old school Jimbo Fisher. Like, let me see,
Well, it's a new scheme now, right? Elko's there. So maybe, we've seen a lot of running from Elko in the last 2 years with Duke and Riley Leonard and Jordan Waters. So hopefully, we get back to that, 60-40. But I think it's hard to say that because I have a funny feeling it's going to be more of a passing game just because you got that talent in Wegman. Like he's just a dude, right? And you're going to run it through the quarterback. So I feel like that'll be more of a.
I'm so glad you brought up the passing game. Right, because I think we're going to have a Devontae Freeman type year out of Owens.
Ooh, okay. Hey, and
Florida State
makes sense because that wide receiver room is bare, right? You got, I think it's Rodgers is still there, and I think they brought in Cyrus Allen from La Tech, but outside of that, man, they lost obviously Stewart. Anaya Smith went to the NFL. Or is going to the NFL.
Real quick, what a class act Anaya Smith is. By the way.
Top notch, dude. Top notch, dude. I hope he latches on with a team because what that guy can bring to a squad just outside of football, like just leadership and building, and that kid's got it. He's on the right path.
Class act.
All right, so his thing. I mean, he got 43 offers, but if you went on his social media at all, he said he got an offer from every school in the gosh darn country at one point, right? The big dogs, everyone. I don't even have to rattle them off, but Texas, Alabama, anybody in the SEC, anybody in the Big Ten, they were all calling him. I mean, he got offers from everybody. And what I seen to him, it just jumps off the screen to me. Perfect running back builder. He's a physical runner. He's got good body control, quick feet. He can get in and out of the hole quick. Right? He's got good vision. Probably could develop a little bit more patience, but he does have some patience. Just sometimes he's got happy feet and just wants to go. He's got good change of pace though, without losing speed. He don't have to gear down. Right? He wants to make a move. He can do it at top speed, which is unbelievable. You mentioned Murray sitting here, but he got somewhat of a jump cut like Murray had. Murray was the king, but he does have a jump cut that he works with. He's got some suddenness to him. He's a 3 down back. He picks up blitz as well, but then there's sometimes, bro, where he's out there and he's just whiffing. So that's going to be something that he's going to really fix if he's going to want to be out there all 3 downs. But what are your thoughts on what it thinks to me that jumped off the screen?
Again, I love the jump cut. I think jump cut's probably one of my favorite things. DeMarco probably favorite one I've ever seen.
Flare, get that flash.
It's crazy, and you see a guy like, literally. I mean, the movie Draft Day. He's like, boom, he's here, then boom, he disappeared 60 yards down the sideline. And that's the stuff that comes to mind.
Yeah.
When I hear the jump cut. And there's another Texas player, and not an A&M player, but a Longhorn that I recently talked about same size, 600, 200 pounds, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Jonathan Brooks and
Okay.
Reuben Owens could be this mirror aspect. Now, here's the thing. I think Brooks can put on, I think Owens can put on another 10 pounds.
Yes.
And he's already a 10 flat guy. So, in the tens. So watch, man, I'm telling you, one thing that really stands out to me is his ability to find a hole.
Yeah.
The vision is the difference for me in Owens and the other two guys, Baxter, that you brought up. So that's where I'm at.
I love it. Freshman year, A&M, played all 13 games, only got 5 starts though, right? Had 100, just over 100 attempts, 385 yards, 3 touchdowns. It's 3.8 yards per attempt. I'd like to see that, closer to 5, somewhere in the mid 4s as a freshman. I'd be cool with, but I'll take it. He did have 16 targets, had 12 receptions for 109 yards. That's 9 yards per catch. I like that. Total of 122 snaps, right? Out of the 385 though, 256 were yak. And this is where the physicality comes in, right? You're not going to get out. You're not throwing an arm tackle out there and taking down Reuben Owens. You better wrap him up and try to bring him to the ground, or grab his shoe and hope that someone comes in and cleans it up later. It's not going to be a guy that you can just lollygag and take him down. So that is very apparent. 23 missed tackles forced. Again, he had 385 yards, 9 runs of over 10 plus yards. So there is explosiveness. And like I said, he can hit the hole, get in and out quickly. He's not a one-trick pony. I'm not a guy that really likes backs that can only run the zone scheme or run gap. He can run both, 67 to 33. I mean, not the disparity wasn't crazy, but it's there. And he only had 1 fumble and only committed 1 penalty. I'm cool with that. That's discipline right there. What are your thoughts on his freshman year?
Again, I think it was more like, hey, let's get you into this. This is the SEC. You need to figure this out.
Right.
You still got some growing to do. Obviously, we saw that out of him. I do think we're going to see at least double touchdowns. I'm going to say we're going closer to 10. So let's get to 10 touchdowns. 5.6 yards of carries where I think we're going to see this year, and I think we're going to have 200 attempts for. But here's the biggest difference. I think you're going to get to 1,000. So I think there's a 1,200-yard running back out of Owens, and it's going to be a big, big year for him. And the thing is, his coach needs a big year out of him.
Yeah. He needs to. That's how you make the statement. New coach, new conference, new you, right? I think you said, Devonta. Yeah, I think he can get like 25, 27 receptions, probably close to 300 yards and a couple tutties. He had a couple games this year that were good, and there was a couple games I wish he could have, had better. Like, he played Ole Miss later in the year. Only had six carries for 15 yards. Like that I wish could have got a little bit more out of him, But then, you had games against South Carolina where he got 18 carries, only got 40 yards, but he was able to get in the end zone. Game against, I guess you kind of say this is chalk it up as an easy one. Aberdeen Christian, 18 carries, 106 yards, touchdown, close to 6 yards per carry. So I mean, we saw flashes of it, right? And then we've seen times where I wish it could have been just a little bit better. But like you said, it was in a running back by committee. I think they're only going to give him a little bit at a time, a couple tastes. The games that he did start, South Carolina was terrible against the run defense, so they knew they could give him carries, give him snaps. Aberdeen Christian is not an SEC powered school. We can give him snaps. They played. I think they played it well with them, and I think they're going to take the training wheels off in year 2.
Do you think Klein is the biggest? Is that going to be is Owens the biggest beneficiary of Klein being hired?
Yeah, I would hope so. Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, now we can just get scheming him up here, running him in plays in lanes that work in his system. Before it was kind of just like, and they were bound by injury nonetheless too last year too. Once Wegman went down, it was kind of picking and choosing what you're throwing out there for guys. So yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting to see, but I think yes, he benefits the most. I think that alone will get him more carries.
I mean, we saw Deuce Vaughn, in Kansas State actually ball out. So I mean, if there's somebody that can really, help Elko, I think Colin Klein was a home run hire, especially for Owens. I think you'll see him get in space. You'll see him, see the point where he's going to have a big year. And like I said, I think we're going to have 1,200 yards out of him. The biggest thing is we're going to have the Devontae Freeman, emergence out of the side that I think they're going to have a lot of dump passes to him. Let's see this 9 yards a catch. Screen passes, cross the middle stuff. He's a big body kid too. So watch out. I really think that he's going to have a big year.
Yeah,
I think
we're
going to see the 5-star actually come out.
Yeah. I think, like you said, with Klein there, Klein likes a running back. He's not like that, that committee, a carousel guys. He wants to stick to a guy, and then he'll have a guy that comes in and can change the pace. But for the most part, he likes running. Look at Vaughn. Vaughn was a workhorse at that as little as he was. So I can see.
Yeah, I haven't got to ask you this yet, but and being a Devy Darling, what round are you looking to draft my guy in?
Ooh.
Is he going to be a late pickup, like not many people are looking at him, or is he a guy that I need to go get early now because he's the guy?
Well, what's your definition of early? Top 3 rounds?
I would say top 5.
I would say somewhere between, depending on where you're picking, the back end of 4, between the back end of 4 and the front end of 6, somewhere in that range. Yeah, I mean,
the 5th round, like
I feel
not a reach at all.
No, I feel like that's very good value. And if you got him at the back end at 4, but you were at you had the first pick and it was at the carousel and it was like the turn, because now you're looking at 28 picks before you come back. Yeah, I would take that.
And you guys that are doing these drafts that are coming up real soon, I would love to find out if you get him in the 9th. You know what I mean? Because if you get this dude this late, and there's a lot of good running backs in this, I think they're going to be a big year for some big kids.
I'm doing one right now, and I'm pretty sure Baxter went round 3. So
yeah. So if we're talking there, Baxter round 3, you get this dude around 5 to 7, steal.
Right. Yeah. I'm with you. This is my guy in the class. I knew Baxter was 1 and he was the guy, but out of everybody else, I'm like, all right, Reuben Owens is me. And for a reason why, he just screams Willis McGahee to me. Just everything about the way he's built, the way he handles himself, his swag, his game. I love it. I wish he would have went to Miami because you know what I mean. He could have rocked the chain and come out with a big boombox, and it would have been McGahee. He's not dead, but reincarnated in a Miami uniform. But I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the Willis McGahee year minus the knee problems, and I think that Reuben Owens can definitely do that. And I think they need that in College Station out of him in their first year in a new division with a new coach. Just hand it off to the dog. Get established, especially with Wegman coming off an injury. You know what I mean? We don't need to have him out dropping back, 60 times or attempting 50 passes per game. Let's run the rock 30 times. Give him to him 20 off the rip first 5 games. Let's go and see what he's got. And if he established himself, there's no need to change something that ain't broke, right? Let's rock and roll.
Yeah, you're a big Judkins guy, and
right.
You rode the train. That's where I think you need to see out of him this year. Just give him the rock. Let's find out.
And if they want to sub him, they want to split a guy out with spell him, whatever it wants to be. Judkins was able to eat right with Zach Evans there, still getting 800 yards. Judkins went for 1,300 yards, and Zach Evans almost had 1,000 on his own. And then again this year, Judkins went off for another 1,000, and I think Bentley was close to somewhere between the 550 and 800 yards. I'm not sure to be exact, but these guys can still eat. So I think Reuben Owens can be the one and eat, and whoever else wants to fill in there will still get enough yards. But I think they need to run the ball early and often, establish themselves as a physical dominant offense, and then what Wegman has. He can throw. He's got a howitzer. He can read the field. The play action with a good run game. Oh man, God bless. Cyrus Allen would just be eating all. It'd be like Smoke Harris 2.0. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, all right. I'm Nino Brown. That's my guy, Boomer, a.k.a. Jared Gray. CFB Nation. Devy Darling. Boom. Take him away.
Hey, until next time, let's go.